So the message of VeggieTales, every time we ended a VeggieTales video, it was right. God made you special,
and He loves you very much.
And that's
goodbye.
Yeah. What's the message of what's in the Bible?
Well, God made you special and loves you very much was supposed to be the beginning of a conversation. Okay, and basically what I was trying to say through VeggieTales was there is a God who made you and loves you. Can we all agree on that?
Okay.
If we can kind of go back all the way to that, rather than arguing about, when I baptize, do I dunk or sprinkle? Was the world created in 6,000 years or 4 billion years? The church has gotten just kind of all bogged down into, well, that's not Baptist teaching and that's not good Pentecostal teaching.
Right.
Forget it. We're completely ineffective when we're arguing with each other.
Right.
And most of North America agrees that, 80% believe in God and come from some Judeo-Christian heritage. So if you come from a Judeo-Christian heritage, you should be fine with the statement, God made you special and He loves you very much. That's a starting point. It wasn't supposed to be the end, though.
Okay.
And the fact that 10 years later, I hadn't moved on to the next part of the conversation kind of showed how engulfed I became, just in VeggieTales. And so God bought me the free space to say, okay, what's next? And what's next is we need to take kids deeper. We actually need to, that's the milk. Now it's time for the meat and potatoes of our faith. Let's start at the beginning. The high church, had the tradition of catechism. And if you were a kid, if you wanted to be, a member, Catholic Church, Episcopal Church, you went through catechism and everyone learned the exact same stuff. And we kind of, as we were throwing away high church traditions, we kind of threw that away too. And we've got, Sunday schools in our churches that are all competing with each other to try to attract kids to be more fun than the church down the street. Right. And it's hard to really teach kids, say, here, we're going to take a test. You have to take a test. So in the Protestant church, we've largely walked away from that. Really hardcore instruction of our kids. And our kids aren't learning their faith. And we've got a generation of parents that grew up in that tradition, and they didn't learn their faith either. So what we're trying to do with what's in the Bible is take kids deeper and say, all right, what's the problem? That Jesus is the answer for? Because we keep singing Jesus is the answer. But if kids don't understand what the problem is, you don't need the answer. So let's start at the beginning. We spend a whole DVD just on the problem of sin, in the first 11 chapters of Genesis that set up the rest of the Bible and all of life. Because if kids don't understand the problem, they have no interest in the solution.
Sure.
And then we're going to walk kids all the way through the Old Testament. I'm on DVD number 5, which takes us through King Solomon, roughly. Okay. All the way through the Old Testament, through the prophets, through the writings, and then we're going to get to the gospel, which tends to be where we start. We start with the gospel, in Sunday school. Right. We start with Jesus. Right. If you don't understand the problem of sin, if you don't understand how hard it was for Israel to try to live under the law so they could be accepted by God, and they failed, and they failed, and they failed. If you don't understand why it doesn't work that way, you don't really know why Jesus needed to come.
Sure.
So we're going through the entire Bible. We're defining concepts like salvation and redemption and justification and holiness. What does the word holiness mean? Do you know what it means? Word holiness. What does it mean?
Separated, set out, set apart.
All right. Did you watch What's in the Bible?
No.
Oh, that's good.
I haven't seen it.
See, because most people will say, well, it means you're better than everyone else. You're pure. And that's not what it means. It means set apart for God. You're different. It's about being different, not about being better than. So we always say holier than thou. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're so holier than thou. You think you're better than us. Right. We're completely just distorting the key definition. We say God is holy, and that's all we can think of is holier than thou. No, God is different. God is completely set apart from everything. He's completely different, and He wants us to be different as well, like He is different. Be perfect as God is perfect. Right. Be holy as God is perfect. Our kids need to understand that, because holy right now is a bad word in most schools where kids would go, oh, you're so holy. Mm-hmm. We got to save it. So we're redeeming the language of Christianity by defining it. Salvation. You need salvation. I don't want salvation because that's like Christianity, right? No, it means to be rescued from danger. Oh, well, what's the danger? Well, let me explain to you what the danger is. Oh, you're right. There's sin all around us. The world there's got war and disease and famine, and then people are mean to me, and they call me names, and we have fights on the playground, and that's sin, right? Yeah, that's sin. How can I be saved from that? That's salvation. I mean, if you tell it in a story, in a way a kid can understand, now they go to church. They go to big church, they sit through a sermon, they hear the word salvation, and it immediately cues something that they've seen. Oh yes, I saw that. I mean, it's like the preamble to the Constitution and Schoolhouse Rock.
Right.
If I hear, the word gerund, I think Schoolhouse Rock. Oh, I know what that means because I saw it. Or conjunction. I think of these freight car trains linking up on Schoolhouse Rock on Saturday morning, much more than anything I learned in school. That's what we need to do with our faith. Basically to say, okay, what if Walt Disney and Jim Henson collaborated to teach the Bible to kids? What would that look like? What's in the Bible?
That's great. I confess that I haven't seen What's in the Bible. I know that I will be, seriously, I will be remedying that soon. Oh, here we go. Yep. I get instead of my name on the board of recognition, I get my name on the board of shame.
Shame.
So, what's in the Bible? Hopefully, you guys, just by listening to Phil talk about it here over the last couple of minutes, I mean, it's something that's, I think we could agree is necessary, needed, serves a purpose, and ministers and teaches our kids and us at the same time. So,
Yes.
Let's see.